Welcome to the third lecture of particle physics. We will start from weak interaction. Weak charges produce weak forces. It is kind of a rough name. There is nothing like weak charge, but we roughly call it some kind of propagator. And all quarks and all leptons carry it. So it is applicable for all quarks and all kind of leptons. There are two types of interactions basically. Charged involves W plus minus vector boson, and neutral Z0 boson. It does not carry any charge Z0. Theory of lepton is more easier than quark, so we'll start from lepton. Okay, a negative lepton converts into their corresponding neutrino with either emission of W minus vector boson or absorption of W plus vector boson. It can be seen from here that mu minus plus and neutrino electron neutrino, when decay, they give electron plus muon neutrino. Okay, this is how the representation is, that the left side term is in the downward direction and the right side term are in the upward direction, and for the time coordinate, all are going in the positive time coordinate, so there are no antiparticles involved here. Therefore mu minus plus neutrino via weak interaction that involves W minus meson converts into electron and muon neutrino. Okay, this neutrino muon event is hard to set up in the laboratory. This is actually very hard to set up in the laboratory. So there is some kind of change, and that is mu is now decaying into electron and muon neutrino and anti neutrino. Okay, so it is the kind of crossing symmetry thing. You can see very easily that for crossing symmetry to happen, we are having from left side neutrino and we are crossing it to the right side, so we have to make it antiparticle. Therefore now it is an anti-neutrino, and you can see that this decay is very viable and is seen a lot. So this decay can happen, and as I said that left term is always represented in downward direction and right terms are represented in upward direction. So all the three particles are in the upward direction, and the only downward direction part is, downward particle is of muon. So here the decay of muon, which happens all the time. So decay of muon is very viable, but this type of interaction is not viable. The next one is the fundamental neutral vertex. That was for the vertex where W minus or W plus meson were interacting, and we know that those are charged vertex. Now for the neutral vertex where Z0 is involved, we do not write any sign or direction for Z0. Okay, remember this, that there is no sign like we used this sign for W minus or this sign for W plus, but there is no sign for Z0. Okay, remember this. So if Z0 boson is involved, we do not write sign. Now this is a very simple representation of a lepton converting it into itself via Z0 boson. Okay, similarly here there is a scattering between neutrino and electron. Electron neutrino scattering, where electron and neutrino are scattering into electron and neutrino via Z0 boson. The GWS model, Glasow-Weinberg-Salem model, includes neutral weak processes as an essential ingredient. Okay, their existence was confirmed in CERN in 1973. The existence of Z0 boson was confirmed in 1973. But don't you think that this is too long? We took too long to identify Z0 boson. Actually, for two reasons. First one was nobody was looking for them, and the second one was that they are masked by much stronger electromagnetic effect. We will see later that electromagnetic effect is somewhat acting as a decoy for Z naught bosons. For Z naught for Z naught bosons. I mean, they are hindering the Z naught bosons. Now Z naught can be exchanged between two electrons. So can the photon. I mean, between two electrons, obviously photon can be exchanged, and also the Z naught. But we know that the detection of photon is much easier than Z naught boson. So so the is actually photon is actually having more ratio in case of contribution than Z naught, because we are detecting it much easier also. Now photon mediated process always dominates. Okay. Experiments at DAISY. DAISY is some kind of laboratory at some country. Studied the reaction of electron and positron, uh, converting into muon and antimuon at very high temperature, and they found unmistakable evidence of contribution of Z naught. I mean, Z naught was discovered at a very late point because of the fact that it can only be seen at very high temperature, and only in some reactions. Okay, so obviously neutrino scattering is a better option to observe Z naught. After all, gamma does not participate here. Neutrino is kind of a particle that does not interact with a photon. So if we have any neutrino reaction, then we can easily observe Z naught boson. Okay, now we are in for quarks. We are going for quarks. The lepton is over till then. Now we are going for quarks. Remember that the leptonic weak vertices cannot connect members of the same generation. This is very important, that leptonic weak vertices connect only member of the same generation. Now what does it mean by the member of same generation? Member of same generation means that electron will connect with only muon of electron, and then neutrino of electron, and then muon will connect with neutrino of muon, and tauon will connect with neutrino of tauon. Okay, this is what we call, actually these are kinds of a these are included also in lepton number, separate lepton number. They have electron number, muon number, and then tauon number. You will see it in the conservation laws. Okay, so remember that the leptonic weak vortices connect members of the same generation. Electron converts into neutrino of electron with emission of W minus, or muon tends to muon emitting Z naught, but electron never goes to muon. Electron never goes to muon because it will violate the conservation leptonic number of individual lepton, nor mu minus to neutrino. Okay, that means mu minus will never convert into neutrino at the vertices of weak decay, because it will have to be a neutrino of muon, otherwise it will not convert. So remember this. Actually this is just the conservation of electron number, muon number, and tauon number, as I said. Now in case of quark, we have a quark with minus 1 by 3 charge, and we have a quark of plus 2 by 3 charge. The minus 1 by 3 charge is converting into plus 2 by 3 charge via W minus boson. Now for the quarks, there are three sets of quark: up, down, char, strange, top, bottom. The top three quarks are having a charge of plus 2 by 3 times of charge, and the lower three quarks are having charge of minus 1 by 3 times of charge. Okay, so going in further, the outgoing quark comes the same color as the ingoing, but with a different flavor. Obviously we can see that the charges are changed, but the colors are not changed in here. Okay, in case of chromodynamics, the color was changed, but in here the colors are not changed, only the flavor is changed. It is not that W minus is conserving the flavor, because it can couple to leptons as well, which do not have flavor. Now to understand this, that W minus boson couples with quarks. Obvious, this is very obvious. And W minus quark, W minus boson also couples with leptons. Now leptons do not have any color. Leptons do not have any color, and leptons also do not have any flavor. So if W minus has to conserve flavor, then in case of lepton and quark, where both are involved, it is not possible that W minus will conserve the flavor if lepton and quark both are involved in a same reaction. Okay, so we cannot say that W minus actually conserves flavor. Okay, therefore flavor is not conserved in weak interaction. Flavor is definitely not conserved in weak interaction. To remember this, quark flavor changes at a weak vertex and quark color changes at a strong vertex, obviously. Now this is the reason why weak theory is sometimes called as flavor dynamics. Quark theory is sometimes called the flavor dynamics, because weak theory is called flavor dynamics because weak theory does not conserve flavor, and that is why it is called flavor dynamics. And also weak theory involves the change in flavor, that is why it is called flavor dynamics. And in case of strong interaction, the color is changed, that is why it was called chromodynamics. Now moving further, if the W minus end coupled to a lepton, then it is called semileptonic process. If W minus end coupled to other quark, then purely hadronic process. Now we will see here, like in case of here are two quarks and having a W minus boson in here. Suppose there is another vertex which involved leptons, then it will be called semileptonic process. If it involves another two quarks or three quarks or four quarks, then it will be called as purely hadronic decay or process. Okay, there are some of the examples. Semileptonic process, here the U and D quarks are interacting via, actually this is down quark and neutrino, which is interacting via W minus boson and converting it into up quark and electron. Okay, but this is not viable, this is not actually possible because of the quark confinement. As we know that if two quarks are there or three quarks are there, then quark confinement takes place and it forms a hadron immediately. Therefore this process is kind of not possible because D and U seems to be alone, and we know that quarks can never be alone. Okay, so to change this process, we involve here, we simply change the axis. Here we change the axis and we can see that there is a up quark, there is a down quark, which is interacting via W minus boson and converting into electron and neutrino. Now if you remember this, then this is the time axis, and if any particle goes in the reverse direction of time axis, then it converts itself into antiparticle. Therefore this neutron is converted into antineutrino, neutrino is converted into antineutrino, and this up quark has converted into anti-up quark. Okay, now this anti-up quark and down quark together they form pi minus meson. Okay, and this then decays into electron and anti-neutrino. Okay, this interaction is very possible. It is possible. Pi minus tending to mu minus plus anti-neutrino of mu is also possible. Now we are saying beta decay. Beta decay is very important. It is very common also that neutron is changing into proton, decaying into proton and electron and anti-neutrino. Here we have the quark content for proton and then quark content of neutron. We can see that one of the quark, actually the direction should be this, this is the direction. Okay, we can see that this down quark and up quark are interacting via W minus meson, W minus boson, and converting into electron and antineutrino. This is actually antineutrino because of the direction. Remember, this is the time axis which is going forward in upward direction. Now if there is a sign in backward direction, then this is antiparticle. Okay, so this is actually antineutrino. So this is the reaction and this is the representation. It is also called semi-leptonic decay because of the involvement of leptons and hadrons. Now to say it very clearly that there are two quarks which are doing nothing, they are simply sitting, and these two quarks U and D are called the spectator quarks. Okay, now for the purely hadronic decay where only quarks are involved, there are no leptons involved, we have del nod changing into proton plus pion. Here the proton quark contains UDU and the delta nod quark contains UDD. Here the up quark and down quark, you can say the sign is always like this. Okay, because we don't have any anti quark in here, therefore the sign is in the direction of time. Okay, so we have up down quark for del nod, and the down quark and up quark from proton are interacting via W minus boson, and they are further converting themselves into up quark and down quark. The up quark is in the opposite direction of time, therefore it is actually a anti up quark, and the down quark in the positive direction of side, therefore positive direction of time, therefore it is simply a down quark and it forms a pion. Okay, so it is the kind of reaction. Another reaction is this decay is also possible via strong interaction. That means the interaction that we see here, which happens via weak interaction, is also possible via strong interaction, and the process is like this. Obviously the two spectator quarks remain the same, and the only quark that were involved were U of proton and D of del nod. They involve, and via strong interaction which contains gluons, changes into D quark and up quark. To be clear that this is a forward direction of time, and in here U is in the downward direction, so it is actually a anti quark, and D is in the forward direction, therefore it is a down quark, and it forms a pi minus meson. Okay, so what we saw that this reaction del nod tending to proton plus pi minus can go via weak interaction and as well as a strong interaction. Okay, but when we compare these two interactions, we see that a strong interaction dominates over weak interaction. Okay, the contribution of a weak interaction is very less. Now to be remembered this, that del nod and neutron has the same quark content UDD. But why did not we use neutron here? We did not use neutron here because neutron has not enough mass to convert into proton and pion. Okay, so remember this always. Here is another reaction where neutrino of muon plus proton is tending to neutrino of muon plus proton. Obviously this seems like scattering. This seems like scattering, and it is going via Z node boson, and Z node does not have any direction, so I am eliminating this. It does not have a direction, so this is simply via Z node boson, and obviously we can see that in downward direction there is neutrino of mu, and then proton which is scattering into neutrino of mu, and then proton. Okay, so this is also possible, and it is via Z node boson. Remember that Z0 exchange also makes a tiny contribution to the electron-proton force within an atom. This is very important and this is very interesting, that within an atom there is also Z0 exchange between electron and proton. But obviously this is hindered by electromagnetic interaction, because the value that we get via electromagnetic interaction is very high as compared to Z0 exchange. Okay. Now we have only thought of the transition from U to D or C to S or T to B. I mean, we thought that this was only possible because of their generation. It is a kind of generation thing, that we have three generation of quark. We have three generation of quark. Up down is the first generation, CS is the second generation, and TB is the third generation. We thought that only three generation of quarks are there and they interact in between their generations only. But later on we found out that lambda and pi and omega also uh, also decays into other particles via decaying their s quark into another generation of u quark. That means that s quark in these particles, the s in the s quark is decaying into u quark, which is actually doing a cross generation thing, which was not possible as we thought. Okay, so here are the two reactions where lambda is changing into pion and proton, and here omega is changing into lambda and kaon. We can see that strange quark and up quark are interacting via weak interaction and changing into up quark and down quark. This is actually anti-up quark because of the direction we can see here. Similarly here, the s quark is involved, and the u quark from lambda is involved, which further converts into down quark and up quark. Okay, so we can see very easily here that strange quark is involved via u quark. Strange quark is involved via u quark and they are interacting. But this should not be possible. Because strange quark should only be able to interact via charm quark. Okay, so how to solve this? Actually, the solution of this dilemma was suggested by Cabibbo and applied to neutral processes by Glasso, Iliopoulos, Mayani, Jim, and extended by Kobayashi and Maskawa. Okay, these are very important names and these are pioneer names in case of weak decay. Now the idea is that quark generations are mixed or changed for the purpose of weak interaction. I mean, the quarks will be simply mixed, because if s quark is decaying via up quark or into up quark, then of course it seems like the quarks are mixed in between, the generation are mixed. So instead of writing UdCH we write UD dash CD dash and TB dash, where D dash S dash B dash are linear combination of the physical quark DSB. Okay, and this is the representation, the way of writing it as ds h dash b dash is equals to a matrix and then dsb. The matrix includes v of ud, us, ub, v of cd, cs, cb, v of td, ts, tb. This is called Kobayashi and Maskawa matrix. This matrix is not a unit matrix. Obviously, if that would have been a unit matrix, the value of d dash h dash b dash would be same as dsb, which is kind of the thing that we wanted to solve, that it is mixed. So it cannot be a unit matrix. We experimentally did a lot of experiments to get the values of these constants of VUD, VUS, then VT, VTB, like that, and we found the values of the matrix elements. You can see that there are no matrix element that has zero value. Obviously the range is from 0 to 0 point something, but this is not actually 0. It is 0 point something that goes to 0.0000, but it is actually not 0. Similarly here it is something 0.0000, but it is not 0. Okay, so it is not a non-linear, it is not a linear matrix. Therefore the mixing of quark happens. VUD measures the coupling of U to D, VUS measures the coupling of U to S. The fact that VUS is non-zero is what permits a strangeness changing process like in case of lambda and omega. Okay, now here is an important thing: weak and electromagnetic couplings of W plus minus and Z naught. There is a coupling between W plus minus and Z naught. There are direct coupling of W plus minus and Z naught to one another in Glasow, Weinberg, Salam model, GWS model, just as there are direct gluon couplings in QCD. We have seen that in case of QCD there are gluon couplings, and we found that there are something called glue balls also. Similarly, in case of weak and electromagnetic couplings, it is possible to have weak interaction interacting with weak boson interacting with weak bosons. Okay, here W boson and Z boson are interacting. Here are 4 W boson interacting, and there are 2 W boson and 2 Z boson interacting. And we know that W boson is a charged boson, therefore it can also couple with photon. Therefore W boson and W boson coupling with a photon, W boson is coupling with a photon and a Z boson. Then W and W boson are coupling with 2 photons. They are of limited practical importance at this point of the time. Obviously we will discuss it later. We'll discuss it in GWS model later on, but for now it is this much, and we will go in the deep of weak interaction. Obviously Jim matrix we will see, and then Kobayashi, what Kobayashi did. Then there are suppression of different kinds. We will go in weak interaction later. That's all for today.